Do we all need to wear hats or something?
No, but
As
they do.
someone with plugged ears, it's very quiet.
So
I feel like we all need to put ball caps on.
I'm not afraid.
It never has.
I never have.
Oh.
If you want to though, you 100% can.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the podcast, episode number 16. Coming up on 20. That'll be fun. With our special guest, our cousin Hannah. Other cousin
Hello.
Hannah.
Other cousin.
Other
Yeah.
cousin.
She's got some great stories. She
The
is
sister of Olivia.
Yes, sister of Olivia.
Mm-hmm.
Big family.
It's a big family.
So, for our topics, we have a sports update, and then a little story time / Hannah time, and then another story, some college knowledge is what it says. That'll just be kind of more info. Another story time. It's a quicker one. And then some question. That's a fun question.
May I
So,
say one
Be
thing?
prepared.
Yeah, sure.
Jen.
Go ahead.
I came into this blindly.
That's true.
That is
so
fair.
whatever happens,
It happens.
happens.
I'm trying to think. I think we've done that for most of our guests.
Okay. Well,
One time Owen came on
Yeah.
for a top 5, which is our most viewed video.
And I told him to tell him about it.
Yeah,
and he
so
didn't.
I had about a 3-hour window to tell him, to give him like 3 hours to think of it. I totally forgot, and so we told him about 10 minutes before we started filming.
well,
Yeah.
at least you got a little warning.
Right, little.
Yeah, no, I intentionally did not show Hannah some of the topics just because. I mean, she knew
I'm
of one or
nervous.
two of them, but I
I'm
wanted to keep
reading
a
one
surprise.
of them, and I'm a little nervous about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway,
But here we go. So as far as sports updates, our fantasy, we haven't played any games as of this point because none of the NFL have played any games.
Hannah, do you do
so-
fantasy football?
No,
No.
never
No.
once in my life.
Yeah.
People talk about it, and I'm like, I don't know.
That's
Maybe
me
we'll have
too.
to get you on ours next time.
That's me
'Cause it's
too.
kinda
Yeah,
fun.
fair. I only do NCAA basketball because
That matters.
we grew up doing basketball only.
Right.
So
Yeah, Dad's never done
No,
fantasy either, so.
Maybe we
Be
should
kinda
make a
fun
new
the
one
next time.
before the season starts with her.
No.
when does no? That's a stupid question. I'm not gonna ask.
So, but
What's
and then
football?
as far as moving on to week 2 of the NFL, week 1 starts this week as of recording in
Yes.
3 days.
Yep.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Tuesday.
Chiefs and Ravens play. That'll be over by the time I think this is posted. So we're moving to Bengals at Kansas City. As far as game picks, who
do we think
do
we're
we
gonna win?
think is going to win against Bengals in Kansas City?
Kansas City.
Or you
Because
just
it's
say
at
It's
because
at Arrowhead.
At Arrowhead.
I agree, but
But the Bengals
I
are good.
think that Joe Burrow in the regular season has always beat us.
So there's a.
I'm pretty sure that's a true thing.
every
In the regular season,
okay.
every time we've played the Bengals, I think they've beat us.
I'm going Bengals.
Kansas City fan, I know. Ben's going Bengals.
I'm going Bengals.
Leo, where are you going?
Chiefs.
Chiefs. We got 2 Chiefs, 2 Bengals. I'm going
Yeah.
with the Bengals, sadly.
Time will
I
tell.
think they're going to top us. I know I'm
Wait,
a
when
Chiefs
do they
fan,
play?
how much of a traitor,
Like
but I'm an
next
honest sports
Sunday.
fan, and I believe the Bengals are going to win. Unless there is one condition.
Whoa.
If Jamar Chase doesn't play, easy win for the Chiefs. But if Jamar Chase is playing week 2
One
and
player.
Joe Burrow's playing, it's going to be a good game, but I think the Bengals are going to get it because it's regular season.
I'm excited to see.
We'll run it back into playoffs.
I'm excited to see how these turn out.
But-
Our picks. I should start writing these down, and then like at the end of the season, see
Oh, yeah,
who
we
was the most
should.
right.
And the best percentage, yeah.
We'll do that. That's easy for me to go back and go
Okay,
through.
sweet. Okay, and then we have Packers boy over here playing the Denver Donkeys, the Denver Broncos.
Levi.
Packers
Liz.
play the Colts week 2.
Week 2, they play the Colts. Okay, Ben, you done did that wrong.
What?
Packers play the Colts week 2, and they have already played the Eagles in week 1.
Edit
That
it
game will
out.
be
Just
over.
edit it out.
Right?
Cut that.
No, we're all humans. We make
Broncos
mistakes.
is week
You gotta
2
leave
of the
it in.
preseason.
I said we're all humans.
Oh,
We
was
make
I looking at the
mistakes. You gotta leave
preseason?
it
Does
in.
that mean the Chiefs is wrong?
No,
No,
Chiefs
we
is
play the
right.
Bengals. I
I
know
saw the
that's right.
preseason thing. I'm sorry, guys. They do play the Indianapolis
It
Colts.
is Packers and Colts. And who do we got winning that, Levi?
And it's
Packers.
at
Packers.
Packers.
That's a good one. Packers, Colts, Ben. Who you got?
I'll go with the Packers because I
That's
don't.
a good pick,
Well, is the
Hannah.
yeah? Okay, good. Lied.
Packers or Colts?
Levi.
It's kind of blind.
Green Bay.
This is going to be a clean sweep. The Packers are winning this game. Unless somebody's hurt, the Packers are winning. I think we need to hold down on this on a week. Our next one, we need to not do this because some of these games rely on injury a lot. So being 2 weeks behind is hard. Being 1 week behind is hard as well, but it'd be less hard.
Okay.
But
So next
Fair enough.
episode, don't do it. And the
Yeah.
episode after. Okay. Sure.
now we've done week 2.
Liz didn't tell you. She has a fun fact about Green Bay,
Oh yeah.
but I don't want to spoil it. So
Oh, okay.
You're gonna leave the viewers
yeah,
hanging.
well, yeah,
It's
Dang.
probably a fun fact I already know.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is.
it is.
But Liz was like, "Oh my gosh, I gotta tell
It was
Levi."
just funny because she knew it. But
Yeah, and I
anyway.
was like, he
We'll
probably
move
already knows.
So that's all we got now for our sports updates. Again, we're gonna wait, so we're a little closer, and games have been played. But that's it for that. So moving on to the next topic.
So I was looking at what date this podcast was going to be posted on, and just because I was curious if that was anything like what holidays or whatever, and it happens to be posted on September 11th, which is of course the infamous day in U.S. history of recent. I wasn't alive. None of us brothers, none of the P's in the pod were alive.
Peas in the
Yes.
pod.
But I believe Hannah would have been alive.
I was alive. I
You
would
remember
have.
it?
How old? Well, I
I would have
care.
been 4. I
Oh.
would have only been 4. So
Oh, so
very.
didn't- Any stories
young.
from your brother siblings?
But- do you remember anything?
So the only thing that I remember is we were obviously in Pratt at the time, and
And you were homeschooled, not like a public school either.
correct.
If you would have been
So
at
we
a
were in
public
it.
school, you would have went
I
home.
would have remembered. Yeah,
Yeah.
or watched it on the TV.
Probably.
And then
do
went home.
do keep in mind that if you want to not say cities and localities. then-
Yeah, fair.
But you
It's up to you.
That's fine.
but you did just move out of there, so who cares?
Yeah, it's fine. I'm not there. That's where I grew up. And
Yeah,
anyways, so when we were there, I do remember all of us had gone over to our aunt and uncle's house, and I remember the parents being like glued to the TV, and we were like kids. We didn't know anything, so we were just
Right.
like playing, and everything was fine. And then, yeah, I mean, I kind of remember them talking about it, like, the towers went down, this, that, and the other, but like, no, I don't remember it vividly. I just remember being there,
Right.
and like our parents and like their faces were just like horrified, like just like disbelief.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, but that was it. I
Just
don't.
kind of like
That's-
when
I'm still
Trump
young
was
enough that
shot
I don't
at.
remember it.
I mean, that's recent,
Yeah,
and that was
yeah.
kind of like, whoa, what happened?
Yeah, yeah.
But that's
Yeah.
like at another
But-
scale because that's a lot of
They
people,
actually
and they
got-
went
yeah,
down. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy that you still remember that young, because
yeah,
I
just
always
like I
hear
said, vaguely.
yeah.
I always
you
hear
know.
people are like, you always know where you were when that.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
whatever.
And you're
and
like,
to even be
I-
to even be 4 and still remember.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
just
and that's
goes
the thing.
to show.
I was 4 years old. I just didn't think I would have any memory from that. But I think it was just more so I was shocked at like why are mom and dad
It's
and
just
like
so weird
why
behavior
are they
from them.
acting that way? Because they never are that way unless something serious happened. Like someone died.
And that's
or,
crazy.
yeah, but that was my.
So
only
do you
memory
know?
of it.
Do any of your siblings have any?
No,
Or something
but,
different
I mean,
happened a week late,
my
week later or
oldest-
something.
my oldest, like the oldest 2 in the family, they recall it. They're like, oh yeah, we remember like going over because we went over to our aunt and uncles because they had cable. We didn't, so like they had live
Oh.
coverage, and so
To watch it.
they like called mom and dad and they were like, hey, did you see what's happening like on the news and such? And they were like, what? Like, no. And so then they went over and they were all watching the live coverage.
yeah, that's
crazy.
crazy.
Yeah, but yeah.
I feel like in recent years now, like when we were young in school, whenever 9/11 would come up, it was
all
always
the teachers had stories.
It was always
Mm-hmm.
all the teachers had stories, and it was always a thing. Like they'd always make an event to help the kids remember because
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
it was such a big thing, and we'd review it or talk about it or whatnot. And it seems like right as I was getting out of high school,
It's becoming history, dude.
yeah, when I was
Well,
getting out of high
yeah.
school, they stopped talking about it, and it seems like in recent, it's not as talked about in schools anymore.
No, they still have teachers that will talk about it.
right,
do
and it's like a
assignments.
history. A history teacher might
Yeah,
do something
but
about
that's
it.
That's what I'm saying. It's becoming that history where this next generation that's
Right.
coming up that doesn't actually remember it can't.
Right. But I'm saying,
portray
I
this
feel
feeling.
like
Yeah.
it used to be such a big in deal, even in like elementary schools. They talk about it. Today is the day, or a couple days ago would have been the anniversary of this
Yeah.
XYZ event, and they'd have a workbook or a video or something to review it and to talk about it, and that was like every grade and all over the place. And in middle school, you'd have an English assignment about it, and a history would talk about it, and it was just kind of a gloomy day. And now it seems like recently that's kind of gone away.
Yeah, that's just like JFK. I'm sure when that was a big deal, everyone was, this is when it happened. This is, but now, all that generation
It
is
just isn't part of the books.
Now,
yeah.
the one thing I will say, because I don't remember it, obviously, vividly and at the time, but one thing that really struck me, like, I guess when I really, like, thought it through, and I get sad thinking about it, obviously, now, because it's like you think about all the stories and, like, people, instead of wanting to, burn to death, just like jumping out of the windows and
It's
like
hard.
all this stuff. So it's like, obviously I watched movies about it, but when we were in New York for work, we went to the memorial, like there where the towers are, and now they're fountains.
guard,
and
yeah.
like
Yeah.
the crazy thing about that was when we first got there, like New York City, hustle bustle, like talk, and when we got there, it was like silent.
That's crazy.
Just outside, like we're outside, and it's just like quiet.
Yeah.
And then we actually went down to the museum and like saw like portions of the building that they like
the
had
rubble
from everything.
that
The
they-
rubble and like the framework of the building, and they just had like stories and like everything throughout, and it had like this entire wall of like everyone who had died. And oh my gosh, like it still gives
Yeah,
me
that's
chills
crazy.
thinking
That's
about
kind
it.
of the
But that's
feeling-
when I was really like, oh my gosh.
That's
very
crazy
emotional
that like
down there,
the
but-
whole because like you always see New York City as the horns, the taxis, the bustle of the street, loud, here, there, yelling, vendors on the street kind of
Yeah.
thing. And then that's crazy to think that probably around that area that just all dies down.
Yeah, that's
And
kinda
it's
like
just
when
a
I remember-
mellow.
being towards going into the JFK Museum. I mean, the whole time you watch movies and stuff, and that kind
Yeah.
of gives you the heebie-jeebies.
Yeah.
But then you go in there like, wow, this is like where he was shot.
Where
like,
it was.
Is there a shooter in
Yeah,
here? You're
yeah.
just kind of, it's an eerie feeling.
Get nervous. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is creepy. But
That's cool. Yeah, I just like I said, I just thought that schools don't talk about it as much, and so I was like, oh, it's the day. I think we should cover it because it's such an impactful event.
Well, yeah, and she was a little bit alive.
aside from history. I think it's cool
Yeah.
at history, but it's also
and it wasn't that long ago, and it's
Yeah.
like you still have so many people that are affected by it because you have
Yeah.
loved ones. And,
yeah, no, 100%.
and everyone.
And I feel like that
Yeah.
a lot of it's not talked about a lot. So I was like, I think
Yeah.
I think we should talk about it just a little bit. And also, I was
Yeah.
wondering if Hannah had any
Yeah.
stories because I've never
I
been
was,
alive. That's always followed me throughout all of school. It's always like, wait, you guys weren't alive when this happened. Like in elementary school, the teachers would be talking about it, and they'd be like, wait a minute, none of you guys would have been alive. All their kids before had. And when we got in high school, there was a time where teachers were like, I remember the high schoolers that were when it happened and how it how that affected them versus us who weren't alive or were very young. And so I just didn't know if just
Yeah.
curious. That was a cool topic.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, moving on. We have our first story time. This is
Lighten
really
up the mood a little bit.
Hannah.
Lightening up.
This is Hannah's story here.
This is a
So
good story.
let's
This
give
is the-
backstory, kind of what you do.
And
Okay.
you can be as
Not
vague
be
as you'd like.
vague. Be vague. Like don't tell them what, but how.
No, it's fine. I mean, I don't mind. So, yeah, this was the only thing they told me that I was going to talk about, and I was like, all right, fine, no problem. I can talk about it. But so I work for a bridal design company, and so we sell to like bridal retailers, a bunch of different bridal stores around the U.S. and internationally. So I do a lot of travel for my job. Well, we were in Spain, in Barcelona, having like our it was like a bridal market, and we're attending there, showing like all of our goods and stuff to
Doing what you do.
to customers, doing what we do. And
Getting that work done.
we were there for 2 days, and it was our first show day. So there's probably a group of 9 of us that went and got coffee, and we were in this coffee shop.
That's a large group of like people.
Yeah.
Your whole
Yeah.
group you had. That's a lot.
Yeah. So we had probably like 6 of those people, probably from the U.S., and then the rest are in
Based
our
in that
like
area.
UK
Yeah.
office. And anyways, so we were all there. There, like I said, 8-10 of us that went into this coffee shop before heading to work, and we all have like our bags and everything, and we get through the line, get the coffee ordered, waiting on our coffee, and I take off my backpack and I set it in a chair, like literally right beside me, like if you're the chair, and I'm like
here.
standing.
I'm the bag.
Yeah,
Ethan is
I'm
the
like
bag.
I'm like standing right there, put the bag down. My coworker is sitting right across from that chair.
Wasn't it like on the other side of like a barrier, like the line barrier?
the line barrier? Yeah.
So you're like in line, and then you have a coworker sitting across on a table, like a 2-person table, and you sit your bag across from a coworker on the other side of the barrier.
Yeah, but I was already on the other side of the barrier too.
Right? We
We had already ordered.
Oh, I thought
so
you
we're
were in
both
line.
on the opposite side, and like people
Oh,
are
so
right
it is
here.
literally right next to you.
Yeah. So there's
Okay.
like 2 chairs like this, and a table, and she's sitting right here, and I set my bag here, and I'm standing,
right next
and
to it.
and so. And like there's like 5 of the other people waiting down by the counter for the coffee. Me and my coworker are here. There's only one entrance over here, and 2 coworkers come through and like talk with my coworker and I, and he sets his bag down like on the opposite chair, and we're chit-chatting for a bit. He's like, all right, well, like we're gonna go eat like over by the door since you guys are waiting on your coffees before we head over to work. And I was like, okay, yeah. So he picks up my bag and is like, oh, whoops, grabs his bag, goes over and sits by the door. Well, so I'm standing there.
So your bag is still in the chair at this point.
My bag is
for
in the
sure.
chair.
Your bag gets
100%.
mistaken for another guy, for your other
100%,
coworker's chair, puts
because-
your bag down,
yeah.
walks out.
Yeah. I'm like on my phone. I like do something and then I
Typical.
like put it pipe down. I like put it into my backpack and I'm like standing there and I say something to my coworker and then I like go back to my bag to get my phone and it's gone. And I was like, you know, and you have that moment of like, wait a minute.
Where'd I put it?
Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute. No, it was there. Like I literally just had it there. And then I'm like looking around and I'm like, wait, what? Like, is it what? You know, and then I'm like, where's my bag? Like, Reagan, where's my bag? And she's like, it was right there. And I was like, yeah, I know. And she's like, wait, what? And I'm like, yeah. And I start to kind of then freak out a little bit. And I'm like looking all around, you know, and I look over at my coworkers they're just still standing there, you know, and I like look back at the 2 that are by the door and I like walk over there and I'm like, I think my bag, I don't have my bag. I think it just got stolen. And, you know, he's like, no. He's like, it was just over there. Like, I picked it up. And I was like, I know. I was like, do you have it? And he's like, no. And I was like, I think it just got stolen.
So how long do you think time-wise was it between when that guy grabbed it and when
I'm
you
not
noticed
kidding.
it was gone?
A minute, maybe less.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So then, but by the time that I'm like realizing I don't have it, I'm like, what's going on? I like go and I talk to them. And then I look at I'm wearing my Apple Watch. Well, notifications are silent. So like it had buzzed and it was like, your phone's too far away from you, you know, and I didn't realize it.
Man.
And so then I'm like, oh my gosh. And he's like, wait. And I'm like, what? I don't know what should I do? Cause my phone was in there. My laptop was in there. My wallet was in there.
Which your wallet would have had your driver's license and credit cards.
And
Passport.
at
in
the
Barcelona?
time, I didn't think my passport was in there.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around.
No, I didn't think my passport was in there.
So you're
I'm
like, okay, I've lost everything except my passport, my
I can
watch.
get home.
Well, yeah. So my coworker, the guys that were sitting at the door, he was like, but your passport isn't in there, is it? And I was like, no. Like I took it out. Like I usually keep it in my suitcase, like at the hotel, and or the safe. And he's like, so it's not in there. And I was like, no, like I
Why
know
would I
took
carry
it
my
out.
passport?
I'm like, I know I took it out because for all the viewers that don't know, Barcelona is the #1 place in the entire world for pickpocketing.
Pickpocket capital.
Right? Pickpocket capital.
Now she didn't
So-
know that.
No, I did.
Oh, well
I've
then.
been there twice before. And the ironic thing is I literally told everybody, I was like, okay, just remember, like, you know, keep your bag on the front
stuff
of your person,
close.
you know, or like keep it back though, like keep it safe. Like they pickpocket here. And who was the dummy that lost her bag? And anyways,
But you never got to give that speech again.
no. So we're back to we're in the coffee shop and I was like, I don't know what to do. And my coworker Reagan's like, hey, I have your location on my phone. Like, I'll track you. Oh yeah. And I was like, oh, genius. So she like pulls it up because my phone's in the backpack. And so then she like pulls it up and sure enough, like we see the blue dot across the street and up a little ways. And we're like, run. Yeah. And so my coworker, the guy was like, well, let's go. I was like, well, we're not. And he's like, come on. So I like take Reagan's phone and we like go out and we start to cross the street. Well, then there's just like, there's a light and it's just like green and all these cars are coming. Like there's no break in traffic. Yeah. And we're just like watching this dot, you know, like up a ways. And it looks like it's over like where we're working. And I was like, that's weird. I was like, why would they be like over by that building? Well, there's a taxi stand right in front of that building. So I was like,
game over.
So we like finally cross
and that's
the
when
street.
it starts taking off.
It just takes off. The little blue dot just starts going. And I like look at him and he's like, I don't even know if it's worth it. And I was like, yeah, because like, are we gonna jump into a taxi and be like, hey, follow this dot? Like, no, because like they're in Spain, they speak Catalan, which is similar to Spanish, but there's still a little bit of broken language barrier. And thankfully, the guy that I was with, he spoke Spanish, so I was like, I'm with the
you have an
right
interpreter.
person. So, anyways, but he's like, no, like it's not worth it. So we start walking back, and I'm just like, what do I do? Like, and he's like, well, is your passport in there? And I was like, no, I don't think it is. Anyways, so he's like, well, go back to the hotel, like make sure. And I was like, you're right. Like, let's just have that peace of mind. So anyways, he called the police. Yeah, he called the police because he did speak Spanish, I was very grateful for him. And he called them and kind of reported it. And they're like, if it's a backpack, like, what's it look like? And he's like, it's black. I was like every other backpack in the world. So
yeah, so it was the last 8 callers' backpacks.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So anyways, went back to the hotel, rifled through all of my suitcase, everything, and I was like, my passport's not here. Like, nope. And this was on a Saturday, so the embassy was closed, and so I got 2 hours. I was like, well, there's nothing I can do. Really. So I got back, went to work. All my coworkers were super great. They were just like, well, do what you need. Like, make the call, like, cancel your credit card, sign in to this, that, and the other. Oh, the one thing that I had was my iPad.
This is my favorite part.
Was my iPad. And so I was like, oh, like, at least I have some type of communication, And anyway, so I like canceled all my credit cards. But back home, it was like 3 a.m. So one of my coworkers had called like our guy that, oversees everybody's company credit card. It's 3 a.m. and he picked up and he was like, oh, I'll get it canceled. And I was like,
crazy.
Shout out to him. But, anyway, so I texted, like, have this giant iPad. I'm like, I'm this iPad kid over here. But I'm like, hey, Dad, like, just letting you know, everything was stolen in Barcelona. And he's like, what? And he's like, what's happening? So I gave my coworker, like, thankfully, kids before phones. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of, like, my family's phone numbers by heart,
Oh, good for you.
And just remember that. Just, like, that's very helpful, because like if you didn't have, because like on my iPad it wasn't synced, so I didn't have a lot of the contacts saved. It's just a bunch of numbers, so I had to like remember. So thankfully I knew Dad's. But anyways, I was like, hey, cancel like your credit card, because I had one of his, and the church credit card, and just you don't realize how many things you have to do if your identity is stolen. Like I had to go like flag my passport as stolen, and just headache. That's the thing. I was just more mad because I'm like, now I have to do all this work and like
because
buy a
you
brand
can
new
do
phone.
And you'll be okay.
Yeah, I was safe. That was the most important thing. Like it wasn't harmful or anything, but my gosh.
Have you gotten any like?
Annoying.
Has anyone tried to register anything as you that you know of?
Nope.
Use your social or try to
Not that I
cross a
know of.
border. Granted, in Spain, I don't. I feel like a U.S. identity isn't probably going to do them much.
True.
Because who in Spain is going to have a U.S. citizen a car?
True. Say again.
That would have had your social on it and all that stuff, or no? Do passports have that on it?
They don't. But I
And
can't
your driver's
remember if I
license? Or
had.
did you have a card?
She just
in
wrote
there?
that down. She just wrote it right now. She had her.
No, I don't think I had my
down on this
social.
paper.
Okay.
I don't have my social. But I mean, they can still like, try to open like any type of like credit cards in your name. If they have like
Right.
certain.
I still feel like
and, like all that stuff,
and they could
but
maybe make like U.S. cards and
Yeah.
stuff, but I still feel like somewhere in
I
that
flagged
process,
it, though,
Spain,
pretty
like if you're in Spain, like who's gonna like? Okay, you're a U.S. citizen. Why would I rent you a car? I feel like you can get in a lot of trouble, but still, yeah, you have to cancel it all. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, and go get a new license and go get
Yeah,
a new passport,
new phone, buy a new phone,
new laptop, new bag,
yeah.
new all that
Crazy.
stuff.
It was crazy, but
Didn't you have to have a big issue with the embassy and trying to get back?
well, thankfully,
Or was that-
no. It excuse me. It was pretty seamless, I guess. But like I said, it was a Saturday. We were supposed to fly out Monday, but the embassy opened Monday, and I was like reading online, and they were like, whenever you go in, you have to have your appointment, and then the next day you should be able to just get the passport, and then you're good to go.
Which
if
is
everything
just like
goes
a temporary
well.
passport.
Yeah, it's called an emergency passport, and they're purple.
Hey.
And so, and
What's a normal passport color?
well, I think they're different for different countries, but like ours is like navy. The U.S.
Okay,
Navy.
okay.
And so for those who don't understand, maybe like you need a passport to travel internationally. So she literally would not leave Spain without a passport.
Yeah.
So there's no way to go home until she gets a passport.
Right. And that, funny because one of my coworkers asked me, probably 2-3 months before that, she's like, Hannah, like with all the traveling that you do, like, do you ever feel like, oh, you're so far from home, and like, do you get like homesick and like all this like nervous? And I'm like, thankfully no. Like, I think the Lord sees my mind and all of the travels. Like,
you're
I
coming
just know
back.
I'm coming home.
Yeah.
I know I'm coming home. So I was like, thankfully I never get that way. Well,
Until
she, God bless her, was the one that stayed with me in Spain because we had to extend our trip 2 days because we were supposed to leave Monday.
because you
We
didn't know if
extended
you
it
were
to
going to get a
Wednesday.
passport.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, if everything goes well, like, we'll go in Monday. We'll get it Tuesday. We can leave Wednesday. So we moved our flight to Wednesday, and we were like, fingers crossed. And so she stayed, and she's like, Hannah, you literally don't have like a purse, like nothing to like carry identification. You don't have credit cards. You don't have money. Like, someone needs to stay here.
Right.
So, anyways,
Fair.
so when she had asked me that question, the next day we went to the beach because like we didn't know what to do. we like
We're just stuck in Spain.
Yeah.
What else are we going to do?
she's like,
Might as well just
you
hit
meant
up
to
the
do
local
this.
beach.
Yeah, went to the beach. We went to an art museum, and went to a
Sight-
park. We did
I'm
a lot. We did
sightseeing.
a lot in that day.
Sightseeing when
Little
I'm
vacay.
stranded.
Yeah, a little vacay. But I think I was too stressed to.
I don't know how
Truly
you could
appreciate
enjoy it.
it,
Yeah, oh
but-
my gosh. You
Anyways,
have,
and I told her, I was like, Reagan, remember that time that you asked me? And she was like, yeah. And I was like,
this is now.
this right now.
I do now.
I was like,
I
I
know.
literally cannot get home. Like, I'm at the mercy of the
embassy.
to like give me a passport.
Yeah, that would suck.
And so, anyways, but everything went.
I'm at
as
the
it should've.
mercy of our government.
Like-
and
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple of issues, but that would be more stories. But yeah, it was fine. I mean, as far as the embassy, it went well. We got there, had to go through rounds of security, couldn't take any electronics in, and then we
not
like,
that you had any.
so like when we
Figured
got
about
She
there,
that.
had her iPad.
Yeah.
my one iPad.
They're like, can you put all your electronics in the bag? And she's
Yeah.
like, all I got's this iPad.
Yeah. Well, poor Reagan, she had to like wait. Like she didn't come in with me,
Right.
so she was just like waiting outside of the embassy.
Oh, right, because you couldn't call her and tell her, hey, I'm ready for a pickup.
Whoa.
She had to wait out there for you because you can't contact her.
Well, and also, I mean, there's just no purpose for her to come in.
Right. And
So-
go through all the security for just to sit there.
Yeah. So she was like, so when we got to the embassy, I was like, I wonder if we're gonna like, what's it gonna look like? Is literally 2 guards with ARs like standing outside, and we were like, this
Excuse
is
me.
it. This is it.
This is the place.
I
this
can't
is
prove it, but I am American.
Yeah, I
and
was like, I promise. I was like, I
need-
don't have a passport. I need an emergency passport. He's like, okay. And he's like, well, do you have a picture of anything to like prove? And I was like, thankfully, guys, I had a picture of my driver's license.
Oh, nice.
And note to self: if you ever get a passport, you're actually supposed to like take a picture or have a scan of it with you
Oh.
separately.
I think I have
that
a
ever
picture.
happens.
I think I have a picture of my driver's license.
Yeah, good. Do
And
that.
I think I have my social number.
Keep that.
You don't have that memorized?
I think I also have it memorized. I think if push
What
came to
what is
shove-
it, Ben? Could
okay,
you try
it
it?
is
Let me see.
3-2.
But anyways, so yeah, we went through, and he was like, okay. And then I was thinking that like, I was like, oh, to help the process, like, I have my passport number saved through like my airline accounts that I could access. And so I was like, okay, I had all these like screenshots, on my iPad because I didn't have like data. So I like have all these screenshots, and then they're like, you can't take an electronic in the
Like,
embassy.
well, I hope
and
they
I was
don't
like,
need this info.
okay, but they didn't need it. And then once I got in there, I waited like about an hour, and then they're like, all right,
Because they could have probably saw you had a passport at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they like, they're like, all right, Hannah, and I get up there and you go in like this little booth to talk to like an agent, and he was American, and I was like, it's so
My
nice.
people. I
understand.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm so excited. And he's like, and he was so nice. He's like, I'm just so sorry. Like, this happens more than you think. And like, literally, I got to the
Trying
waiting room.
comfort you.
Yeah, I got to the waiting room. There were a total of like 7 people in there, all Americans.
All-
And
same
most
g-
of them flew into Spain. We're gonna embark like on a cruise, and they all got their passports stolen at the airport.
Wow.
At the airport when they
Wow.
landed, as they got into a
Wow.
taxi cab. So I'm like, if that tells you anything, like
Freaking
people
Spain.
are just
Don't
trying.
go
Don't go
there.
to Spain.
Don't go to Spain.
But yeah,
Have you been back
Wow.
to Spain?
yes,
She risked it.
one time.
As far as I'm aware, she got everything back.
Yep, I came.
Had
back.
everything?
I had everything. So
That's nice.
yeah, it was crazy.
That'd have been nice.
That's my one Wild travel.
That is wild.
story, I would
Wild
say.
story.
Crazy.
I heard a story of a guy who lost his bag. Someone stole his bag or something like that, and he's pretty techie, so he had his tracking stuff on, and he used it to argue with some people on the street and get it back. So it's like
He argued?
Yeah, he had there's a tracker, and I was like, oh, I gotta track my thing. And it's the Find My, Apple Find My, so the device has to be near to really be able to pinpoint it. So he went and grabbed a MacBook. So he's running around the street with his MacBook trying to find his iPhone or something, or his wife's iPhone, something like that. And so they're close, and they're like, hey, have you guys seen a purse or a bag or whatever? It says it's around here. And they go, no. And what?
Liar.
And then so when he brings the iPad, when they bring the iPad back and go, no, it's like right here. I can make a noise if you guys can we? And then all of a sudden we just found this bag.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they were playing.
They were
dumb.
trying to hide
with the AirTag, and that is
even if you would have found that guy, who knows where he could have dumped it.
Well,
or
exactly.
lied just to that. That's why I was like, and that was the day when I heard that story about how convenient the tracker was at helping. That's the day I went and bought a tracking device.
Yeah.
I bought some Android ones that are pretty
For all your traveling that you don't do.
Yeah, I know, but if someone steals
Can
my
we
bag,
say that it's Android?
Yeah.
Ethan.
okay. Okay.
Come on now.
You
That's
need
not gonna
to-
work. We all know that's not gonna
No,
work.
I'm not gonna lie.
Simply-
It's really not that good. I pre-ordered it. I've never.
All right, Ben, are you gonna get an iPhone? Because I know Levi's.
I've considered it, but
Levi,
I don't
are
think
you?
I am.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't think I am. I don't think I can.
I'm so excited for that. Like, we're having to wait, and that's killing me. Like, at first I was like, oh yeah, I'll keep this, but I'm so like every time this is gonna be bigger.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
I'm like so excited for it now. But
So I've never pre-ordered a product ever. Like, I always wait for reviews to come out and people to see what's going on and stuff like that. Like a big tech product, I never pre-ordered.
you can't pre-order with Android.
I pre-ordered these Google Find My trackers,
imagine
and
having
it's
green bubbles.
okay.
I know. Imagine texting
I-
people and having green
I-
bubbles. Can't be me.
Can't be me. And then if you like the message, it's like,
This is like the group.
Oh,
yeah,
how
blah blah blah.
annoying.
Liked this message.
This
Oh,
is-
thanks.
oh, was this not part of the topic to bash Ben a little bit on his tangent?
No, I think this is the second
he
in a
put it on
row.
himself. He put it on
This is the
himself.
He
second.
did.
Yeah.
He talked right when I was tracking with you literally when you were like, yeah, so I bought a tracker, and I'm like thinking, oh, he bought an Apple AirTag.
No.
And then he said an Android, and I was like, ooh,
What?
time to roll.
Trash.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not that good, but they're better than they're nothing. The funny thing that happens is so because
They lead you to the wrong spot.
no, so yeah, they probably wouldn't steal my bag because I'm an Android guy. They're like, oh, he's cheap.
That's why they're not as good, because they don't have to be. Nobody wants it.
This is a controversial topic. I'm not kidding. Not just with us. Everybody like who has an Android,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
it has so much more storage.
I can
Blah, blah, blah,
unlock
blah,
so
blah.
many more. I can
update.
go into my BIOS, and it's like, I don't care. I don't do that.
Have you seen the new iPhone?
And I guarantee you don't.
Like your eyes to control.
Now I'm
Oh,
gonna
it's
say
like
that's
an accessibility thing.
AI.
Yeah, there's
hate
more
it.
AI on it.
I hate
I
it.
know. I don't think that's why I don't want it.
Okay, actually, there was some cool stuff I did with so Google's Gemini AI model, which they shipped before Apple's AI or Apple Intelligence.
Okay.
Not that it's as good,
It's a
because
crappy one.
yeah, it was not as good as what Apple.
Do you guys see a theme here?
What I experienced with Google's
I'm just
Gemini
kidding.
was not as good as
gotta be
what
careful.
Apple's concepts, because no one knows what it's like because they've not shipped it yet, was. But it was really cool to ask the AI, hey, what was that email about the lake trip? And then it searches through all my emails and says, here's your 3 emails that are most likely related to that. And it's going back like years.
Now I will. That
Like, could you imagine if you could do that with everything in your texts and your calendar, and you're just like, what was that event? And it's like searches through everything. We were watching something.
Sorry.
I'm showing her the eye
Pause in a
tracking.
moment.
Like you
Wait,
can
they're saying that
move
you can-
and select stuff with your eyes.
Like, is that like an accessibility thing? That's pretty sweet.
For people that don't have hands.
Yeah, I would never use that.
Sorry,
I would never use that.
But it'd be cool to
I
just show.
guess.
I mean, it's
someone.
cool to have the technology, but I don't want to really spend more money for that.
Oh, it like. That's
like
interesting.
If you
cheapest
didn't have
iPhone.
hands and couldn't interact
It's
with your
over.
phone very well,
This-
you probably would use that.
Oh, well, I know, but did you see how it had like it was like putting boxes around like
Right,
what
to
you wanted
select
to select?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy
He's u-
actually.
That's pretty sweet. He
Okay,
just
the-
used his hand.
No, he's
Ben-
showing you how to activate it.
Ben,
Hold up.
back to the you said the AI looking like through your emails and finding exactly
yeah.
what you needed. Beneficial because freaking Outlook. I hate it. I hate trying to find anything.
Scroll in.
Yeah, no, I
And it
really
won't
think
find it, and I'm like, oh my gosh! And
That's
then you
pretty
have to be
sweet.
like, okay, what was the date? Like, I was about like this month.
Yeah,
that month.
yeah.
Yeah, no, and I can search through Gmail pretty well, and I can typically find what I can. But if I could just explain it to an AI, and then it's like, here's the 3 closest things, I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And if it could start integrating system wide, which I think, and why I got excited was because I think that's kind of what Apple's gonna do. Is Apple's gonna do that? So the Google one was just doing like Gmail and Calendar and Google Docs. But imagine if that was phone wide and it could search your calendar, every calendar you have hooked in, every email client you have hooked in, every text message,
But that still
all your
scares me.
photos.
Yeah, that they
That
know
still
and they
scares
can.
me. The fact that like a program.
Yeah, and
can
that's true.
Find that type of
Now,
stuff.
they do
it's
claim
kinda
Apple
weird.
is pretty privacy oriented, but they do claim that, and I believe them, that it's all on device. So all the logic behind it is mostly going to happen
Just
on the
programmed for your
on the
specific-
on the iPhone itself.
How expensive is
yeah,
that going
but
to make
I
it
don't
though?
know.
It's whatever this next one's going to be.
I know.
This next one's going to be the one that has that as a focus. I almost guarantee this Apple event, which is actually happening in like a few days, is going to be just all AI stuff.
a few days from today.
Yeah. Sorry.
Probably
so a
already
few days
happened by now. Yeah.
Guys, we will talk about that probably
2
in the next
weeks
episode.
ago.
Yeah.
For real. So yeah, it was probably about a week ago from when this gets posted. But so this Apple event is really exciting. I'm excited to see. Although I do think they're not going to do a lot except talk about AI and be like, hey, this new phone has this extra camera maybe, and then all this AI.
No, they're
stuff.
taking the camera away and flipping it sideways.
Then yeah, it's probably just going to be mostly AI. Maybe a better screen, better battery,
That's crazy.
and then all their AI stuff. The new A17 or 18 or whatever AI, whatever.
Like Chat GPT. That's
That's in the new phone.
Have you seen the new one where it's
Different.
conversational and you can just chat with it like a human?
I
No.
don't like that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm
that's
saying.
weird.
There's a show.
That's weird.
Well, it's kind of like that, but I mean, it's kind of an older show. So the fact that they were already like predicting it in a sense, but it's called Person of Interest, and it's pretty much like an AI, and then this AI like comes to life like in a bot form basically. And I know they've probably made millions of movies and stuff like that, but
yeah.
like, oh, it was creepy, and I'm like, yeah, we're not far from it, and now I'm like, we're living it almost.
Yeah.
It's creepy.
Yeah, there's a difference in
Just like
terminology between the two
Vision Pro
AIs.
thing too. That's cool though.
Yeah,
I want one of those.
That's like, when we were watching Iron Man, like you can do that now.
Yeah,
You have to have a
true.
dorky thing
That's
on your
true.
head, but
yeah, you look ridiculous, but no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you had to sell your liver, but
Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, crazy times, crazy world we're living in. We'll move on now. This one,
I don't have a good segue into this, so we can skip it.
yeah,
Good,
it's just
good.
kind of.
Let's skip that one.
I wanted
going
to
to
do
college. She
I wanted to
hasn't.
do a segment where we talked about what we learned in college every week, and I haven't gotten anything cool learned. I don't know if you guys. have learned anything.
No, that's dumb.
I just like being educational.
I
Levi-
don't learn.
So I've been
Because
trying
I
I
say
to
don't
Levi-
have to.
because we're
Levi-
all 3 in college,
Yeah,
and I thought that was so I was thinking through that, and then I was like, oh, that's right, Hannah's not in college because she's a dropout.
that's literally what the line says, and I was
I know.
like, wow,
I
make
told
fun
you
of
I
me.
didn't have a topic. I just wanted to make fun
Yeah.
of
That
Hannah.
was the only thing.
Oh,
that
it
I
actually
said.
does. I forgot. It does say make fun of Hannah for being a dropout.
Yeah, that's very rude.
So funny. I'm kidding.
Okay.
Listen, proud.
I guess
Proud
You're
college
just fine.
dropout.
No, sometimes I'm like, man, I should have finished.
Nah, it's alright.
I chose
We'll
the
see if
career.
we all
I
finish.
chose the career.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I chose both.
Yeah, let's wait
It
until you guys
sucks, though.
graduate
Right,
before you make
exactly,
fun of me.
exactly.
Okay?
Well, I have an associate's. I'm the only one here who has an associate's.
Let's
so-
go.
like,
And
actually.
we'll wrap up. I'm gonna I'm going to do an Ethan, whatever you guys say that is. Make fun of Ethan, however, and I'm gonna switch
yeah,
to
Ethan-
question time now.
Ethan likes to swap around our topics all the time.
Yeah, and then they have a saying for when I do stuff like that. But anyway, I don't remember what it was.
I
But,
don't either.
well, I'm gonna move to question time, and this is a fun question. I think this will be good with all of us
Yeah.
because I think with other people it's kind of obvious, but this will be good with all of us.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
We'll dissect it.
who's the most
Break this down.
likely to be arrested
Out of S4?
out of us 4? They don't know us,
I
but
know
this is
they
why this could
don't.
be interesting.
Definitely
I
me or
know-
Ethan.
Really?
What?
Right.
You think
I,
you or
I
Ethan?
think Ethan.
Oh,
I literally thought Ethan.
I was thinking
Yeah.
have you
Hannah.
ever been pulled over before?
Twice in my life.
Really?
Have you gotten tickets?
Never.
I haven't either.
Well, you keep
She gives him
smooching over
winky
the
face
officer.
when he moves out.
No, I
A
don't
warning.
smooch. I've never gotten a warning, not even verbal.
What? Then why are you
Then
getting
how
pulled
did-
over
yeah,
for?
why'd you get
Are they
pulled
like,
over?
oh,
He
I'm
said,
sorry to
"Well,
interrupt your
just-
day,
just-
but your light's out.
No, he said just do better. He was never like, well, this is a verbal warning.
They didn't even write you anything?
Nothing.
Wow.
Literally nothing.
What
And
were you doing?
I'll tell you-
Speeding?
Both times, yes.
Yeah, okay.
What, and the
Someone's
second
got a
time,
need for speed.
The second time, it was in a construction zone.
Oh my
Oh,
god!
fines double in a construction zone.
Yeah, and I passed him.
God.
You were speeding,
Yeah.
passing a cop in a construction
Yeah,
zone.
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
You are most likely to get
But I
arrested.
was.
Yeah,
I
You
was.
probably should have right there.
You
I had
probably
good
should have got a
excuse
ticket.
as to why I did it.
Why'd
Oh.
you
He
do
was
it?
like, oh, he probably felt bad.
Can you? Is it okay?
What are you saying? Something
Why'd
like,
you do
oh, I was.
Why were you speeding, passing an officer in a construction zone?
Here's a little story where so it's COVID. at the
COVID.
time. So
Should have coughed at him.
I have
we're
COVID.
we're based in Tennessee. Our headquarters in Tennessee. At the time, we didn't fly because they were like such limited flights, and it was like,
Oh,
let's
gross! You
just
had to
drive.
drive to
Yeah,
Tennessee?
8.5 hours.
Oh my
Ouch.
goodness.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
we had driven there, right? Had our entire sales meeting and drove back to Wichita. This is even worse. I didn't have my license. I forgot to say that.
Oh
too.
my gosh, that's 4 negatives.
So the cop comes up and says, "License and registration."
And
you
I
could
was in a
just
rental
zoom-
car.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I know.
You were checking all the boxes and he just let you go?
Literally no
with
written
no
warning.
warning.
Oh
no
my
ticket.
goodness.
Nothing.
What was your excuse? This has
Yes,
to be some
tell
great.
me.
So I said, so we
My
got
sister
back.
is giving birth right now.
I wish. This is the biggest thing. Just be honest.
Oh,
Literally,
yeah, I
just
was
be
honest.
So I was like, got back, went to my brother-in-law and sister's house to like meet them, and then they were gonna follow me to drop off the rental car because we were in a rental car. So I had gotten there, I unloaded all of my stuff, put it in that car, and then I was like, all right, and then just follow me there. So my sister gets in with me. We get in the rental car. My brother-in-law's
great.
following us. So
Your
I
sister's
forgot.
an accomplice.
Mind you, I didn't live in Wichita. So we're like in Wichita, like returning it, right? So like that's where we got the rental car. And anyways, so we were like driving it back to the place, and I had kind of forgotten that there was construction there, but obviously there's
Even
cones.
though they probably put cones everywhere.
Yeah, they did. Anyway, so we were like driving, and
Driving
I'm just chit chatting with like
with
catching
cones.
up, and I'm going like 62 in a 50, and all of a sudden like it's a 3-lane, and this is the cop car, and this is me. I like do this number, and I'm like, oh my gosh, am I in a construction zone? And I like literally am like, and I slow down a little bit. I like changed lanes to him, and I'm like he, and then I change lanes, and then he changes lanes, and I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, he's gonna pull me over, yeah. He did.
Lights.
So then he pulls me over,
Woo, woo.
and he comes up, and I was like, Liz, I don't have my license. I'm in a
Switch
rental car.
seats,
Yeah.
switch
I'm like,
seats.
I'm in my rental car, all this stuff.
I'll pay
And
the
she's
ticket.
like-
I'll pay the
She's like,
ticket.
oh, Hannah, and I was like, I know. So I'm like fully expecting to get.
You
slammed.
should.
You might as well start
Fully
crying then.
slammed. Didn't cry. And he comes up on the passenger side because it's kind of busy, and
Oh, he's like, hey,
and
he's
he's like,
talking
hey,
to
can
your
I have
sister.
your license? And I was like, you're gonna laugh. And I was like, I don't have it.
Officer, this is a good story. You
I
might as
said,
well sit
I'm,
down.
I'm in a rental car. I just got home from Memphis, been driving all day. I said we're going to return it, and I put all my things in my brother-in-law. There, he's following us.
Oh, so your license is just back
Yeah, it's behind us in the
20
car.
yeah, it's probably
And I was like, I've
probably
we've already called him and asked him
80
to like
feet
pull.
back.
Yeah,
Not-
and he's like, yeah.
Oh, he
yeah.
blew past you?
No, he was there. My
The brother-in-law?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he like stopped far
So
behind. us.
then he
Okay,
could have
okay.
went and got it.
He could have, yeah. But he was like, just tell me your name and your address. So I did. And he was like, all right, stay here. Goes back to his car. Was there for maybe a minute.
Okay.
Comes back
Probably
and
didn't
he's
find
like,
anything.
I could have ticketed you for not having a driver's license.
For
one.
real? And
And
speeding.
he was like, and I could have ticketed you for speeding in a work zone, too. And he's like, but I'm gonna let you off today. Be careful out there.
Was it
Stay
late?
safe. 7.
Yeah, he's
PM.
trying to get home.
And
Yeah.
He gets off at 7. He was going home, and he's like,
He's
I
like,
guess I probably
Sometimes
should.
it does just depend on the cop,
it
not only the
does,
cop,
it
but
does.
the dude they're in. If they've had a sucky day,
yeah.
I'm gonna get him.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw this once, and
yeah.
this I'll segue into this. I was driving down our highway, just 2-lane highway. Drive past a cop. He's sitting there. He comes out. I watch him. He pulls behind us. Comes over. Okay, and then
That's why I
I
get
see
nervous.
the wildest thing I've ever seen. He pulls back over on the shoulder, slows down, lets a truck pass, pulls behind the truck.
No.
I'm like, oh, he's pulling him over.
He was in
He
front of
knows
him?
something. Yeah, went to the shoulder
That's
to let the truck
sketchy.
pass.
Which
pulls behind the
this
truck
is
again.
on
I'm like,
our highway.
yeah, no, the other one, 69.
Oh, okay. There's
and
a
I'm
big
like,
shoulder.
oh my
there.
gosh, he's gonna pull him over. He knows something we don't.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, whoop whoop, that's the sound of the police. And he gets lit up, and they pull right over. I was like, that's a disgusting maneuver by the cop.
Yeah, it is. I'm surprised he didn't just like pop his lights on and like just slow down.
Yeah,
and
no,
make
he
him
was
stop.
dark until he pulled over to the shoulder, went behind him, and then lit him up. I was
That's
like,
crazy.
Wow.
Nice.
That'd make me angry as a truck
I know,
driver.
right?
I'd be
You're like, oh my
okay.
gosh,
So I
you
had to.
kidding me?
I just had to do this maneuver around you, and now I'm gonna have to pull back over.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
wild.
But
I don't think I've
anyway.
ever been pulled over.
Well, you've.
I was
had
in an
accidents,
accident.
and that involves cops.
I was there. I
never
have.
pulled
I have
over for
interacted
doing
with the
illegal.
police once, and I got a ticket, and they wrote the report up wrong.
What do you mean?
Guys, I might have just pulled a hamstring.
I don't know if I want to go into much
I'm dead
details.
serious. Something
What do you
hurts
mean?
sharp down there.
So I
You
got.
don't have to incriminate yourself.
I
but
got. Isn't that? Aren't I?
This is off the record.
This is off the record.
All
This is all
alleged.
allegedly.
You got lucky they wrote it up wrong.
Yeah, so I went in an accident, a vehicular accident, and they wrote the report up wrong, and they said my car did something that's like, there's no way it did that, and the damage was on the wrong side and whatnot. So we went and complained about that, and then some dude that we know who's like in the lawyer office, attorney's office, whatever, got it thrown out because the police can't freaking do their job. Just kidding. I really respect all
That's harsh,
officers,
but-
especially the ones that let my cousins off for free.
Thank you.
That's
really
crazy.
I really appreciate the officers.
Yeah, God bless.
And I do,
that, man.
and I really probably should have gotten a ticket. I would have probably appreciated a warning because I already had to pay for all the damage of
It hurts really
my
bad.
car. So I don't
No.
know if I necessarily needed the ticket because I was already gonna
I
have
thought
to
I sat
handle.
on something, but I didn't.
But-
do that. I don't know.
But it's
Anyway,
okay.
it
It was
hurts.
that's my first and only accident that
So-
is involved
Wait,
with police.
I thought-
I have
Oh,
hit
I
two
don't wanna
deer.
go into
No.
it. Okay,
I
yeah,
can
that's
segue
okay.
into my pulling over. It was late at night.
Oh, you actually
I was
have?
tired. I
This is
wasn't
great.
paying
I didn't know
attention.
that.
Not that I
And
can
so I
remember
was just
details.
driving like. I
You
honestly
were going stupid. fast,
honestly
weren't you?
don't know how fast I was going. Not stupid fast. I want to say it was like 78 and a 65. And I was like,
Okay.
well, that's kind of a lot.
That's
But,
kind of a lot, but it's not.
but anyway,
Pretty worse.
and so I like genuinely I was just tired. I'm wanting to get home, and so I'm driving, and I know as soon as I passed a cop, I was like, oh, he's gonna whip around and light me
Because
up.
they're always like lights are off,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and they're just sitting, and then you're like, shh.
Yeah. No. So what actually happened was he was just driving right past me, and as soon as that I knew, I was like, oh, I'm gonna get it.
So you were
So
speeding?
I hit the brake as soon as I see him, and I slow down, and then sure enough, he comes around and lights me up, and so I'm pulling over. I'm like panic. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna suck. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. But then I just do everything asked, and when he gets to the window, I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, officer. I just wasn't
See?
paying attention, and
I
and
think
then
they
he's like,
appreciate
license and
that.
registration. I was like, it's over here. Can I go get it and and get it all out and give it to him? And I was, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to get home. And he's like, do you know how fast you're going? I said, I honestly couldn't tell you. And I think that might have saved me a little bit
Yeah,
too, but
yeah.
I'm not sure. So then,
So this
he
was
goes
late
back.
at night.
yeah. And so he goes back,
I'm sorry, I was
Um,
typing something.
and then he comes back. He's like, listen, I'm just going to give you this. This isn't a ticket. It's just a warning. If you don't have anything on your record, blah, 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 is an honest mistake. I said, yes, sir. I won't do it again. And I'm still kind of just like in shock, shaking a little.
Yeah, because you're nervous the first time.
Oh, the
you
first
pulled
time
over.
it's like,
I
oh my
remember.
goodness.
Yeah, by the eighth time
Hannah's
though.
professional. At
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, right.
It was
Hannah
twice.
knows how to
It was
handle it.
twice.
I think Hannah needs to teach a class.
Then he's like, yeah, you're good to go. I was like, thank you, sir, so much. And then
Yeah.
he went off, and I was just like, oh my gosh.
See?
So then he went back to going 78. And
So how fast were you going? How fast over?
I don't remember. I might still have the ticket somewhere, but
you never
not a
paid
ticket.
it?
No, it wasn't a
I
ticket.
know it's a
but
warning. Yeah.
He might have put it on there. I don't actually remember.
So then, Mike, back to the real question: who's going to get
yes.
arrested?
Who is more likely to
Now I'm
arrest
kind
him?
of thinking
So
about Levi because he's silent, right?
Yeah.
because I'm a professional
And I'm like, what all
NASCAR
have
driver on
you
the
done,
streets.
Levi?
What all
Right.
have you?
That you
What?
Nothing has
haven't
gotten me
stories?
caught yet.
I
It won't be Ben.
But
Tactical
then
speeding.
Levi's just smart, you know?
Tactical
He's too smart to
speeding.
get caught.
He's just smart that he's like, you know, that he just might not do anything stupid.
Well, that's it was just an honest mistake. Like I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't meaning to go fast. Sometimes I mean to go fast, and it's like, oh, here's a car. I'll slow down. Oh, there they go.
But I also think
But
that
it
you're
just-
a little gutsy that like one day it could get you in trouble to where then maybe you could get arrested.
okay.
That's why it's still a bit of a toss up between you guys, though. I would say.
I was thinking Hannah, but seeing how she can sweet talk an officer, never mind. That's probably gonna be Ethan.
I don't know.
I don't.
Who's most likely to be arrested?
Yeah. Let the viewers
They could-
decide. Like
we
you said,
could
they
poll
don't know
maybe.
us fully, but like
No, they don't know you at all, but they know us.
Comment in the comments
comment.
who you think it is and what they get arrested for.
yes,
Yeah.
because
And if it's
I think it.
dumb, we'll delete the comment. But if it's funny, it's staying up there.
I don't know. It's hard. I know it's not Ben.
Thank you.
because you're by the book.
I
and
am.
we
I
appreciate
am
that.
pretty by the book.
Yeah.
You're older.
I'm just. Here's the problem.
More
I'm
under
just
my
too
belt.
stupid.
More wisdom under my belt, right? Is that what you're about to say?
It probably would be me, but I don't know. I don't know.
I love how you're
One
like,
time
I don't
I-
ever plan to get arrested.
One time I was pulling out of school once.
I don't
and
think
I
I
threw
ever
my
would.
car into
I don't
a
think any
ditch.
of us really
I
ever
know, I
would.
feel
But
like
as far
we're
as
all
most
pretty good
likely,
kids.
it's probably me
you
or yeah.
Levi.
Yeah.
I just
can
feel
agree
like
with
we're
that.
pretty good kids.
We try.
Thank goodness.
We try.
So, yeah.
So now we segment down to our last topic.
Our last topic here.
Story
Wrap
time.
This
This
up.
is a story
Oh yeah.
that is very recent as of to us and recording this. So
Crazy.
you know, packages, the world
Everyone
we live
has
in,
'em.
delivery,
Like opinions.
UPS, FedEx.
Mhm.
Your opinions on those might change after this.
I doubt it.
I've always liked FedEx.
I have never had a problem. I mean, some packages are usually tore up from FedEx trucks.
I feel like
but
we never get stuff from FedEx. I feel like it's always
Right.
UPS. I don't know if that's
Um,
just this area or.
It's Amazon uses UPS mainly. They try to, but this
That's what I
one
thought.
time
UPS
they
is maybe
didn't.
cheap.
So I had ordered a package, and apparently our mom had as well.
I'm just kidding.
It was my chair, so big package, kind of hard to mess up.
Let's see his chair.
Yeah, you can look at it.
Excited.
I was testing it out before we got here. Before we started.
And so I don't know what mom's box was, but anyway, our box, and it said on the FedEx, I went to their app and it said it was delivered. I'm like, okay, great. And so I didn't pay much attention to it until Dad had called me. Hey, did we get a package delivered today? I was like, no, I don't think so. So I went back upstairs, looked for his pack. No, it's not here. You know, blah blah blah, and then went back downstairs. And I was like, wait a minute, my package was delivered. I just looked for packages and there was no boxes.
Wait a minute.
You can't fit a chair box in a mailbox.
No.
So
I don't know.
I think that could work.
I
so
think if I had a furnace, I could
I'm
get it
like,
in there.
wait a minute.
No,
You
So
accidentally
down.
buy like a little model chair and you don't realize it.
so I pull the app back up and I'm like, well, sometimes I take a picture. And so I click it. I'm like, yeah, that's not our house. And so, you know, most are like, okay, maybe it's a neighbor, a house off. If you live in the city, you know, you have a next door neighbor. Maybe it's like, whoops, they accidentally
Yeah,
put
or like
it there.
south instead of north.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
but-
that happens a
You know,
lot.
No, our next neighbor, well, we kind of have a neighbor that's kind of like a mile-ish away. Wasn't their door. I knew that much. And then the next house wasn't their door. I'm like,
It was some brick
well,
door. It's
okay.
like no one around here has
maybe
a brick
it's
house.
Yeah, there's 5, if you'd like to know.
He did the research after this.
I did the counting when I was looking.
But
So-
that's like a couple mile radius.
right.
It's not very
and
common.
so anyway, I'm looking at it, I'm like, who could this be? So I get on Google Maps and the satellite to look at that. I couldn't figure it out. I was like, well, I only knew of at the time 1, maybe 2 brick houses, and I looked at those, and then so eventually I just kind of waited it out. You know, maybe one of them would come home, see the package, see the name,
And
call
just-
us,
yeah.
know us, be like, hey, we can get it, or and
Yeah.
you know, I was happy to go get it, whatever. That never happened. So
Was
See,
my
that
dad gets
like
home
in a
like,
day?
hey,
Like
yeah, this
the
is
day?
within the day.
But
Okay.
here's the crazy thing: you went full on detective.
Right, so I was just trying to find it. I'm like, this is, I mean,
Ethan said,
this
"Let me
is kind of
give me
gonna
back
suck
that package."
because this is
Yeah.
not a cheap thing. So,
Maybe you should think about joining the FBI or something.
so I'm looking and thinking, and I'm just like, whatever. And so 5 o'clock, Dad comes home, like, hey, do you have any numbers, any of these neighbors this could be? And I pulled up and showed him, and he's like, no, I don't think so. And so I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll go drive and look where I think it is, which is at this time the 3rd house I think it might be. So I drive there, and I pull into there, and I'm like, nope, this is not the same front door. And so I'm like, well, darn it. And I'm like, well, I'll just keep going. Maybe there's more brick houses. So I've already been past 3. Like I said, there's 5. So there's another one I drive past, like, no, that's not right either. And then finally, I get past the county, another county over, and almost to the next city over. and there's a house that's also a little bit down a gravel road, not the same road we live on.
Not even. Close.
And I can see from the road the packages have not moved. They're still at this house. I'm like,
Wait,
How
wait.
are you
so
that
how many
far
days
off?
had that been?
just one, same day.
Okay, same
Ethan
day.
was
Sorry,
Ethan
same
went
day.
straight.
I
Ethan
guess-
did not sleep until he got his packages.
No, he didn't.
So then I pull in there, pull down the gravel road, pull in there, drive. I go up there, I knock on the door. It takes a while. There's a little old lady that comes out. Oh, is that what's over there? She didn't really have a clue that they were even there, what they were.
Bless her.
I said, I'm,
Bless
you know,
her.
blah, blah, blah. This is my name or on these packages. And at the time, I thought one of those packages was delivered there. No, they were both our address, this address. 8 miles the wrong direction.
In a
and
different zip
in a
code?
different zip code, in a
Different
different
county.
city, in a
Yeah.
different
Insane.
road.
That address is definitely not the same city. It's
Not at
definitely
all.
Not the same zip. It's a different county.
Different
So-
zip, different city, different road. All, I mean, the whole
Practically a
address
different road,
is
yeah.
just wrong. He would know. He should, the
It's
deliverer
just off our highway.
should have known this line's wrong, and this line's wrong. The only thing he wouldn't have known was the name, who lived there.
What time of day was it delivered?
Like 2 o'clock.
See, that's weird. It's not like he's like, oh,
End
I
of the
wanna get
day,
home.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's just totally
Yeah.
screwed that up.
Yeah.
Just
I wonder
totally
if her
wrong.
address number was the same. That seems unlikely. Like really unlikely.
No,
or
it
like
was
our house
definitely not.
number.
But anyway, I went
you
and found the
don't trust
packages. It rained a little bit on them. They were a little wet.
Just a little rat.
But they weren't damaged. They weren't anything. Like I said, she didn't know they were there. They were in the same spot the picture was with the delivery, so we found it. But
See?
FedEx, do a better job. I mean, come
do
on.
better.
I understand mixing it up. Maybe if we had a next door neighbor, oops, your GPS
like
took you to
8
the wrong
miles.
spot. No, your GPSs should not be that far off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing,
What,
FedEx?
what are we
I
doing?
think I was probably day drinking. I'm just kidding.
Something.
Bit.
Or it was like one driver that was just, I don't know. But that's
Maybe he was
terribly
new.
off.
substitute driver.
Maybe he
yeah.
was new.
Low.
That's still terribly
He's
off.
struggled.
Because, yeah.
I don't know how you can look
Maybe
at that
he
address,
should- But
it's funny
put it
because,
in
like,
correctly, check you have it
it's-
correctly, and then deliver it
The
that
funny
far
thing
off.
is, it's like it wasn't like there was another box that was being delivered to her.
Yeah, it was
And then
right.
it was those
Both of
two.
our boxes.
Yeah.
He
They-
genuinely thought that was
Yeah.
their house.
That's what makes me think that like maybe he was new. That's my
still
optimism.
crazy.
I
How are
know.
you that far off?
Yeah, fair. I get that.
But
I get
anyway,
that. It's fine. It is what it
That
is.
was Ethan's crazy week story this week.
yeah.
But
Nice.
Levi,
Yeah.
you're being quiet over there.
He always is.
That's. I
Did you
know.
want to
Talking
do?
hurts.
Well,
Yeah,
that's fair.
Levi's
Not kinda
sick.
feeling
Levi is
good.
under the weather.
Do you want to do a,
Um,
as far as the topic of pickpocketing, the top 5 or 10, Levi's top 5, 10?
We are an hour in.
good.
Oh gosh, it
Yeah,
flies.
I know. We're having fun.
Yeah, it flies
Time
when you're
flies.
having fun.
The
Tempest
most top
Fugit.
5. We'll do 5 for
Time
time. Top 5 most pickpocketed
Ah,
cities in America.
yeah.
Because we know
Cities in
Barcelona
America.
is one
Okay.
of the worst worldwide. But what's
I think we can all guess America's number one.
cities in America?
Ooh.
I'm not sure, though.
Uh,
I'll say New York.
Come on.
Detroit.
Okay, I
Chicago.
don't have it, but it's got to be San Francisco, right?
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, but that's
I'll figure
pretty-
that out in a second. Hold up.
Yeah, I'm excited. Pickpocket.
Or theft. Whatever. If you can't find pickpocket.
I think San Francisco
Yeah.
is the car break-in capital of the
It's everywhere.
U.S.
It's everything.
It's what?
It's a big city.
It is. Well, it is. Well, yeah, it's
Could
California.
you
I think New York
It's
would be
California.
worse,
Can you
though.
imagine your car getting broken into though? That would suck because you have to get the window replaced.
My
one time we
girlfriend's
were-
mom had that happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sucks.
We were staying at a hotel for a work trip and came out and literally so many cars had their windows smashed.
Oh no,
They,
just went
they
down
just
the
attacked the
line.
window.
Problem
Yeah,
somewhere.
attacked the hotel just right down the line.
That's crazy.
Sketchy.
Got anything, Levi?
We were in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's climbing to be like the number one, like highest crime.
Oh,
Retail
boy.
theft.
It's sad.
Not retail theft.
Just theft. Just look up theft. in general.
No, or should we do this next episode?
American cities with the highest theft rate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Top 5.
top 5.
Our local city
I
had
feel like-
really high theft rates for something. One of the highest,
Really?
Hold up.
like highest
50
property theft or property damage.
Well, no, it's
rates.
just criminal crime rate. I
per
think.
person or something like that.
Yeah.
Ah,
The local
well,
city's pretty bad.
tiny.
For
I was
something.
gonna say
Tiny,
that's
but
hard
a
to-
lot of criminals.
What is larceny thefts
Yeah.
per 100,000 people?
Okay.
Is this city? Big cities?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah, I've never heard of half of these cities, to be honest with you.
They're not big cities.
I mean, it's not like a lot.
Okay,
of sand.
does it have the state beside it? We can guess
Yeah, it
state.
has the state.
Okay, we can
and
guess the state. Is New York one of them?
California is not. Well, New York is not one of them. And
Whoa.
No, not one in California either.
Memphis, Tennessee.
cheater.
Tennessee.
No, it's gonna give it to him.
I'm stealing hers.
Memphis, Tennessee is
Just-
number 4.
Who's got it?
Tennessee.
See?
Wow.
That's crazy.
Tennessee, number 4. Okay,
Never
now
going back
that I'm
there,
thrown
ever.
off here, let's go
Colorado.
Maine.
Wait, okay, so Memphis is wait, what was 5?
No, we're guessing that.
We're guessing
We're
them.
guessing.
Oh,
Think.
okay, so
We're guessing states.
States.
Colorado
Oh,
doesn't have
states.
one.
I'm gonna go Michigan.
Ooh.
So that'd be no.
I'm gonna go Kansas.
I guess we're talking
No.
pickpocket, not necessarily like crime.
Well,
is just
no,
theft.
it's theft.
This
Theft in
is
general.
according to 247wallstreet.com, and it is the larceny thefts per 100,000 people.
Is it this?
We're just trying to guess the state,
States.
though.
Rhode
Because
Island.
we're not going to
'Cause
know
you're-
this.
Oh, Jersey, New Jersey.
Oh, that's a good one. Montana.
Not Jersey. Montana would be MT. No.
Hawaii. Oh, my gosh. Hawaii.
Louisiana.
Oh wait, Montana is 1.
Montana's 1. Ha!
Great Falls, Montana.
Suckers.
Is number 1?
Suckers.
Ah, I love
Dang.
Montana for theft.
Washington.
Interesting.
Washington.
Oh, that's a good one.
Oregon.
I'm going with Louisiana.
Louisiana has 5.
Dang, you got the number 5.
Shreveport,
Shreveport.
Bossier City,
Oh, and
something like
Bossier
that.
City. Yeah.
Los Angeles,
In where?
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
Wow.
Shreveport. Interesting. So that's number 5. We
We
have,
have 4, 5, and 1.
what was 4?
We need 2 and 3. 4
My
was
guess, Memphis.
Yeah,
Oh,
Memphis.
Tennessee. Okay.
Tennessee.
So
So do we all have one
And
right
then
now?
1 was
Yeah, we all have
Montana.
one.
Oh shoot!
Oh shoot. Okay.
Two.
Montana,
Washington? No.
No,
Illinois.
Kansas, sure.
Illinois,
no.
Idaho.
Wall Street. I don't know.
North or South Dakota.
No.
That was 2. You guessed
Yeah,
2.
that's a cheater.
Illegal. Virginia,
No.
South Virginia.
Kentucky?
West Virginia.
Texas,
South Virginia.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Texas.
No,
Texas. No Texas.
Surely not. Yeah.
We already guessed New York City, so Pennsylvania.
No.
Oklahoma,
No.
Kansas. Let's
No.
just
Arizona.
No.
No Arizona.
Alabama,
2 or 3.
Alabama.
Rhode Island.
New Mexico.
No.
Arizona. Sorry.
No New Mexico.
Maine.
No.
I said Maine already.
Oh, sorry, I missed that.
New Hampshire.
No.
Connecticut.
West Virginia.
No.
Okay, we've guessed
Florida.
at least 40 states at this point.
No.
Alabama.
No.
I
Utah.
guess I said
Ethan's
that.
favorite state.
Utah.
Yes.
So we have this is what number
That's
3 or
3.
2?
That's
Okay, so
3,
number
So
2.
2.
Mississippi.
So
No.
we're talking. Okay, wait. So number 1 is Montana.
Great
So
Falls,
number
Montana.
2.
Yeah.
Number 2. Idaho.
No.
I already said
Wyoming.
No.
That. I didn't say that one.
Are we
Nevada,
talking East
Nevada.
Coast?
No.
Dang it.
It's no.
Levi?
Yeah, it's
is it
in
East
the,
Coast?
It's a state.
East Coast.
Can you tell me, or you're not sure?
It's not. I know where my
It's not
state
East Coast. Okay, is it West Coast?
No, it's got to be
is. It's not
west.
on a
Yeah.
coast.
It's
Well,
not a
actually,
coast.
It's an
it might be
inland.
on a coast. I don't think that's considered a coast.
No,
Uh,
it's got to
it's not-
be
So
it's
southeast.
south. He's
Wisconsin.
talking
What's
south.
above Florida?
Georgia.
Georgia. Yeah.
No.
Dang it.
Mississippi.
I already said that one.
I already said it.
Oh God.
I already said Alabama too. Ethan's favorite
North
state.
Dakota,
Missouri.
South Dakota. Yeah, Missouri was gonna be my other one. Alabama.
Missouri.
No. Ethan loves Alabama.
Pew, pew, pew.
Do you like Alabama?
I don't know if
favorite
that
one?
I don't know if that podcast episode is live yet,
not
but
yet.
Levi
I
said
can't wait.
Levi said something like it's Ethan's favorite state, and he yells Alabama. It's like what?
Wait, I got.
We had a conversation
wait.
about.
Why is Alabama your worst?
It's
because
not.
Of.
It's
is
just.
Is
It was a
football?
joke.
Oh, okay. I was like, is there a reason?
No, it was a joke.
I can't-
Nebraska.
We already said that. I
Hold
already
up.
said that.
No, it's not Nebraska.
Have we already said it, Levi?
Is that in
Idaho.
No, I gotta
You
think
haven't
about
said
this.
either. Well, I thought it was a
Two.
different state, but actually turns out it's actually a different state.
2.
But you haven't said it yet.
either of those.
I
So
thought
it has
Alaska.
to be East Coast. Michigan.
Alaska.
Yeah, I think
Ohio.
so.
Alaska. I got 3.
Okay.
AK Alaska. I thought it was
Dang it.
Arkansas.
Dang
That's
it! Ethan
AR,
got
isn't it?
3 of them.
All right.
That's a cool
Ethan
looking
wins.
building.
All right, I guess we can wrap it up now. That was a good.
I guess.
That was a great
I
episode.
guess it was great.
That was a long episode.
That makes it great.
I'm
I don't think
telling
we're going to be
you.
pushing the
Great
longest
stuff.
one, but it's going to be one of the longer.
Really? See, and it's so funny because it's just time flies.
That was great. Oh.
Ethan, send them home.
Send 'em home. Aw.
Guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell if you haven't. And quit asking me how the podcast is going and watch it, darn it.
That's good. You're getting viewers.
Anyway, hit the bell, like, comment, subscribe. I hope you all have a blessed day, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
See ya.
Peace.
It's got to be. I like the intro stuff when we're naturally just
Yeah.
screwing around.
Agreed. I agree.
That's so.
Agreed.
Rude.
So fun fact: every podcast except for one has the cold take intro, where no music, nothing. It's just us kind of chatting.
That's my
Those-
favorite part about watching
Those
that
have
podcast.
always been. Those have always
Every-
been before the podcast actually started. I have never to this day yet used a
Used?
clip out of the podcast as the intro. I've only ever used what we've said before the podcast actually started.
I love that.
So all those are unique clips.
Yeah, I love
'Cause
that.
we're bussin',
because I
bussin'.
guess that's true. Because when I watched the
They all
podcast,
slap.
when I watched when I watched the podcast, I was like, oh, I love these little like cold. What do you call them?
Like a cold take intro.
Cold take intro. And then I was like, oh, they're probably gonna come later in the podcast, and they never did.
I know it's every single one.
Dun, dun, dun,
like
dun,
it.
dun.
Every
And then I never see it now that you say that. I get
and they're
that.
mostly standalone topics. They don't loop back into anything. Like
Okay,
there's
we're
no
coming
like
on 11:30. We gotta go.
cliffhanger. Okay, Ethan.
I
start.
agree.
Okay.
Ready?